Hello today. Today we are going to polish up some deer antler. I have two styles. One that is just natural. You can clear coat it, but I've seen where the clear coating starts to come off and then that doesn't look so nice. The one thing you do have to worry about though is if you over polish. If you try to go too far, you'll actually start to remove the color as has been done here. You see where at the base it's turned white. By polishing, I've actually removed the brown, but I did that kind of on purpose for demonstration. So you don't want to get too crazy. And then we are going to do some that has been turned on a lathe. That will be second. So first we will do the raw. I have some different points that we're going to use, like so. Just raw antler, nothing done, nothing sanded, nothing. So first what we're going to do on this wheel is our brown Tripoli. This is a sewn wheel. If you're not familiar with that, the sewn is actually a spiral sewn, which means that the sewn area is in a spiral, and what that does for you is it retains the same pressure, the same density versus just circles, because when you're going through those circles, when you first go through, there's a bigger gap and then it tightens up as it gets towards the thread. So by being spiral sewn, you don't have that. It remains more consistent in how it cuts and works. As you can see, I have labeled this brown. Hopefully it shows up. Always label your wheels, never mix, and let's do it. Now I'm going to turn it at 1750. You could use higher RPMs. I did not find an advantage, and the lower RPMs I think is safer for working with small components like this. Always wear safety protection, eye protection, so on and so forth. So here we go, 1750, the brown Tripoli, short spurts. I have found that it does seem to polish better if you're going with the grain, which I am not right now, because with these small pieces, going with the grain is a little bit harder sometimes. Now I'm going with the grain. I did do some of this with a loose sewn also, and that did also work, but I do think that the spiral did help a little bit, giving it a little more pressure. So we've shined it up quite a bit. Now we're going to move over to our other wheel, which is blue. Fairly nice and shiny now. Now on the end, if you want that nice and smooth, you're probably better off sanding it. I will polish it here so you can see, but what happens, the polish gets into the pores. It actually shines it up very nice, but as you can see, the polish gets into the pores. So unless you don't mind a little polish in the pores, that's probably not a good idea, but it really does shine it up nice. Person could probably take some high pressure water and maybe wash it out. I'm not going to try. I would just sand it to like 2000 and call it good if I wanted that shiny. We'll do a few more pieces here. Tripoli. Moving to blue. Very nice shine after the blue. To the blue again. And another piece. You can see it really doesn't take all that long. You don't really have to spend a whole lot of time on it. This is a little bit bigger chunk that I played with earlier. And this is the larger one that I did first. So we did all of these just right now. And for the amount of compound it takes, it's very minimal. Next we're going to do some turned and sanded. These are for pen kits. People do a lot of antler work on the lathe, and that really turns out very nice. What I've done on the lathe, turned it with the lathe, carbide cutter. Then I take some 180, I final shape it, 320, 400, 600, 1200, and then 2000. Really after the 180, you're just hitting it very lightly. It doesn't take long. It's just a matter of touching it up and getting rid of the scratches. By the time you're getting to the 600, you're really making somewhat of a shine already, even without polishing. And 2000 is kind of a semi-gloss, and that's what this is right now. This is a 2000. As you can see, it's smooth. It's got a gloss to it, just not as high a gloss as what I want. So we're going to do the Tripoli. And it really polishes up very nice. That's with the Tripoli. Now sometimes this one doesn't really have any of it, but you'll run into a porous area that you're either going to have to live with or else you're going to have to fill, like with some CA glue. Now we're going to hit it with some blue. And I just really touch it up. Light touch. And that is a very nice shine now. That will look very nice in a pen. So I will continue on. I've got 4 more to do. This one here has a porous area, kind of into it. They tell me that an antler is kind of like a hair. It's one heck of a stiff hair is all I'm going to say. But anyway, you get into certain layers and you've got this porosity to it. And now I'm going to hit it with the blue. And number 2 done. When you start to get these to shine, it really brings out the color in the antler. And moving to the blue. And number 3 done. After the Tripoli. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I mean after the Tripoli it's nice. The blue does add a lot more gloss to it. It pulls out the color nicer. And the last one. This one had a lot of porosity to it, so I did put some CA glue on it. What that does is kind of fill some of the low spots. So it's going to take a little bit more because I'm actually having to polish some of the high off. The nice thing about it, though, is where you've got that porosity, generally you've got some pretty nice coloring. So, I guess you take the good with the bad. And if you've ever turned, you don't know what you're going to get to when you start turning your piece because you can't see it. And there's that one. Nice coloring. So in a matter of a few minutes, we did 5 pen blanks. And this is going to be the final product. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.